Hey folks, how y'all doing? Excuse me. I figured I actually have a little downtime today. It's kind of interesting. It's between cons, and I figured let me give you a report. I never did a video from Otakon and some of the other things going on, and I used to do the Friday videos all the time, and I used to try to edit them. I'm probably not going to do the editing or anything like that, but I do figure let me give you a little update. Otakon, if you saw some of my posts online, getting down there was an interesting battle. The turnpike could be a little bit crazy sometimes, and some trailer blew up, and it was crazy. We pretty much got in there at like 5:30 p.m. That's really late for us on a Thursday, but we were able to unload. We didn't get done till about 8 o'clock. Now, also, what happened was the next day we had to get there early so we could finish the setup. So it actually, it worked out. It made the show go a little bit faster for us as far as that part goes. But this year, Otakon changed all the rules in terms of the adult entertainment. So what happened was just, or I should say, offerings. They don't have entertainment. So what happens is that if you have stuff like, the hentai or anything like that, they pretty much changed the contract where only 25% of your booth could be that. For us, I didn't think that was a big deal. For other vendors, it was a really big deal. Guys like Faku, J18, even some of the Dojin guys, all that kind of stuff. But I could understand it, but I was kind of like, well, you could probably figure out how to maneuver around that, but they didn't really try. So what happened was all the adult guys kind of pretty much, they left. They just didn't show up. The reason why this change in the contract and all that, I heard various stories, everything from like complaints from the convention center itself to, basically they people were just the convention center and people in general were just complaining that they went down the stairs and then the first thing in their the industry area, which kind of makes sense. The industry area, they even got rid of that. They did have industry people like Discotheque and some others, but they didn't have really an industry area. We kind of get thrown around where sometimes we're industry, sometimes we're not. But the thing was just that they didn't really have per se an industry area. So it kind of then was all making sense. Maybe that's what happened. But it, what happened was we were really the only guys there. And then one other vendor had a small little area. And there were a few dealers who had maybe like one box of Dojin or something like that. But we were really the only area that kind of had a more of a full selection. We had all the Faku books. We had a lot of J18 books, not all of them. It's impossible to carry all these guys. Well, they're releasing every 2 weeks. The other thing too is, let's just face it, it's heavy. There's a lot to it. For what the margin, it's a lot of work. But we did have that. We had our videos, and I also had Dojin from Japan. I was kind of prepared because at Kacon I found out that they were doing this rule. We signed up anyway. I actually built the whole, we built the kind of a little area that was enclosed by pipe and drape. And still they were a little concerned that you could peek in. So we fixed that as best we can for them. They were happy with it. In the end, the show was good. I mean, what happened was because of that, our sales naturally went up a bit because we were the only hentai guy there. But, in terms of everything, we did pretty well there. Even the non-adult stuff, the books that I brought from Japan, our videos, Kacon sold well. Everything sold very well. The Kamen Rider continues to sell. We started to get a lot of, good feedback on a lot of titles. Stuff that we never expect to sell out sometimes sells out, like a Zebra Man or something like that. So that was all great. It went well. Loadout was perfect, and we headed on back to Jersey. So this week, we're kind of preparing now for Anime NYC. Anime NYC is a big venture, even though it's literally like right over the Lincoln Tunnel. It's about like a half hour away for us, if that. It's still just a lot of work. The great thing about Anime NYC, though, I have to admit, Prior years it was crazy, but about a year or two ago, I know they had some incident there, but then they brought in, the guys really took control as far as the loading goes. Their load in is pretty amazing. As far as like you have the skids there, they leave them there. They have tons of people there ready to go. They bring it right to your booth, no questions asked. Yes, the booths are not cheap, but that's the thing. It's you do wind up where they do take care of you. But we're fortunate in that we're so close. So we don't have to have the travel fare. We don't have to have the, hotel fare. But frankly, it's pretty much, that's it. That's what, you wind up where, we can make some money there. I think for a lot of other vendors, it's not so much. So it winds up where some of them may pass on it. What happened was, you have Anime Boston, you have Anime NYC, you have Otakon, all East Coast. Anime NYC, kind of like of Expo, now is kind of taken over in terms of that's the industry show where all the biggest players go, all the biggest booths go. They do get the most people. That doesn't mean you're going to make the most sales, but that took over. So that's kind of hurt Otakon and Anime Boston, which frankly have a ton of people. And there's not a lot of industry left. So all you really have is mostly some of the adult guys. You'll have Discotheque, you have ourselves. And, and then you have like Manga Gamer, they're all kind of smaller publishers. But they, we do release quite a bit of stuff. I mean, all of them. So what then happens is then Anime NYC becomes the big show. So we do that show, but every adult guy, everybody's there. We do bring all our stuff. We're mostly there though to promote Anime NJ as well. So we do okay with sales, but the Anime NJ part is probably the biggest part because, we're in Hasbrook Heights to show, excuse me. And what then happens is then it's literally, like I said, 20 minutes over the tunnel. So we try to really promote that, with Kia Tamamiya there, with the other voice actors there, Sean Chiplock. We have a whole bunch of people. We're also going to be announcing the music act soon. And that one's a pretty good name, pretty big name as far as we're concerned. And you'll be able to see all that. So that's one of the main things we do at Anime NYC. But as far as Anime NJ goes, it looks like things are going great. Dealer's Room is sold out. Artist Alley is sold out. We do have, just like last year, we have the tabletop gaming. We have the video game room. We're going to have, of course, different panels, events. The cosplay was really big last year, so we're still going to have more of that. So again, it's going to be a full-blown event, 3 days, and we're in Hasbrook Heights, easy parking, easy to get there. Well, when it gets really crowded, not as easy parking, but last year I couldn't believe on Saturday. So that's, you'll have the car show there, you'll have everything like that. So we kind of took the place where the old Anime NYC dates were. They were always on that Thanksgiving, which I thought was perfect, but they decided to move to August, I guess, to get more days, because now they're 4 days long. That's another thing. So they're pretty much copying Expo, or 4 days of a show. So it's a big event. So let's hope it all pays off. Otherwise, on the Media Blaster front, we've been working tirelessly. We finally got Kacon out. People have gotten their T-shirts. They've gotten their poster. We're really excited about that because that's like a first for us in terms of all those special releases. So we got that all out. We've been sending it out to people with all those extras. So that's been doing very well. And so has the standard edition, by the way. The reorders on that have been really good from a lot of vendors like Crunchyroll and all that kind of stuff. In addition, Nurse Nanako now is pretty much, it's in replication. So we did announce it as a September date. Both releases will be out by then. That one has a ton of extra stuff in terms of just the mask, you have the pin, you have the T-shirt, you have the poster. So everyone's getting a lot when they order from the storefront exclusive. On the other side, you do get the same disc. It's everything the same on the standard edition. So you get either one. There is a difference in price, obviously, for all those extra goodies. So definitely, I think it's great. The other thing too is that one went through so much in terms of QCing. We've done QCing before, but that one, like Fudo and some of the, it's just incredible the amount of work we had to do to get past all the approvals. So I really do think Nurse Nanako is a great title. In addition to that, we did announce on the adult side, I think After Class, that's coming down. These are older titles that used to be on DVD, and then what happened was the publisher, I think, no longer, I don't even know if they exist anymore, but what happened was they kind of, the Blu-ray, or well, the DVDs went out of print. So these are now, like we did with Boing and we did with Akiba Girls. You'll get more and more of that because those are expired licenses. We reissued them, throwing them on Blu-ray for you guys, and you'll be able to check that out. There are some of our older titles, like we did Widow, we did those will be coming out as well. So just keep checking in on those. We still did very well. The Hot Tub Delights, it was very well received. We did very well on that, so that seems pretty good. In the future, we do have more titles coming out. We, of course, have Green Green. That's kind of in the works right now. And, of course, Kamen Rider Dyad. Dyad is really the most done. The problem was just basically, we just, out of nowhere, we asked them for an extra or something. There was something we needed. And then suddenly we get this big download. And there's like making of and this and that. It's like extra after extra, like hours of stuff. And we were like, you know, can we use most of it? What can we use? And they're like, well, you could decide and we can. And so what happened was we went to the, you know, what we call our experts on it, and they told us these are the main ones you have to have, because we couldn't really slow down the release anymore. So we kind of picked the bigger ones, the making ofs you'll have. There's some, we have the commentaries. We have a lot of stuff in there. I probably should update the Media Blaster storefront to give you the exact extras. I'll get that soon and you can see that. But there's a lot. So what happened was, instead of already being in the replication process, we're now getting all the timing done, getting all that stuff done. And if you've seen the making ofs, those things are long. There's other ones where they're doing, like, you know, Q&A and all that, and they're talking. So it's a lot of translation, a lot of subtitling. So that's where that is. We do still expect an end of September release. And actually, in some ways, we had to make it 2-disc now. There's just too much stuff. We can't fit it, you know, and still have a nice looking release. With the trilogy, because the movies are shorter and the amount of extras they gave and we got made, we were able to make it look good and still be on a BD50. Now we're going to definitely have to have 2 with these movies. So that's really it. I think on our front right now, like I said, there is more stuff coming down. We do have Genshiken, not far behind, Green, and we do have a couple other titles that are now just about finishing up as far as the acquisitions go and all that. We are helping another company with another title. So we're trying to work on all this stuff and keep our sanity. You know, we are doing another 4K where Debt Trance is in the works, so that's an old title that really did well for us in the day. So keep an eye out. Things have never been smoother than they have this year in a long time. Media Blasters have really, I think at this time, it's really stabilized to a point that I feel very happy about, and I want to thank you all for that, all your support, continuing to, you know, check us out, buy our products and watch them streaming, however you do. But that's made a big difference and allowed us to really be where we are right now. We're stabilized. We're here in Fairfield. We're out of that old factory. It just feels very good. All right, guys. So take care, and you guys have a great weekend. Bye.